as the industry decided to change, and the industry is driven by the customers, we've gone to demand pull instead of technology push. It used to be, here's what you get, buy it. Now the customer is saying, no, this is what I want. And so we're actually fulfilling the customer's needs with technology pull, or with demand pull. So they want more power. We're trying to give them certain ways of getting more power. That's where half cut cells came in. That's where N-mono came in. And we still stayed with 60 and 72 cell formats until probably 2 years ago. And then things just started going a little bit crazy, where everybody wanted a 400 watt panel. So they just started adding cells, which made your modules bigger. So that doesn't, all that, that doesn't, it's not technology. That's just, adding more, X's and Y's.
Do you think that is being driven because the sales guy at the installer wants to say, "Hey, we got the bigger pan," like it's like
Yes,
that?
absolutely. So I
But
like to,
that's little bit sad in a way
it's
because
very sad, because what matters
yeah,
is kilowatt hours per kilowatt peak. That's all that I know on the
of
customer's
course,
invoice, it says
yeah,
kilowatts, but what the
right.
customer is buying is kilowatt hours.
And maybe kilowatt hours per square foot or square meter
Right.
of panel
Yes.
space you put on the roof or on a specific
Absolutely.
space.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yes, I totally agree. Having developed solar farms and put solar on my home, I get the math.
Yeah. So people are looking at, kilowatt, people are looking at, I just want more kilowatts because, their neighbor's got an 8 kW system. They needed 8.5 kW.
Yeah.
And it's kind
But
of like,
there's a few layers of high school physics that people need to remember to do that. And even my friends with advanced masters and PhD degrees, I see them just not putting in the time to understand
Mhm.
that extra level of calculation and math.
Right,
And so that's why the panels are getting to be slightly bigger in size,
right.
and we're not
So,
standardizing on a specific format and just kind of
and
build.
it's going to change even more in the next 18 months to 2 years.
Why?
But what I liken it to is, when people are buying a car, they look at horsepower.
Right.
Horsepower doesn't really matter. It's miles per gallon that matters. But everyone wants, oh no, I've got
Ask
300
that to my
miles.
17-year-old boy. He might
Exactly.
say different.
Yeah, I know. I know. But what really matters in the end is miles per gallon.
Absolutely.
But you
Absolutely.
hit on a really interesting piece. In the past couple of years, things have started to get a little bit crazy with module formats. So
Sure.
one of the things is, solar cell sizes are changing. We are, currently, so we've moved slowly from 156. So we've moved from, M4 to M6, M6 plus. So we moved up 156 millimeter, 162 millimeter. And the cell manufacturers have realized that to make a solar cell, it costs the exact same amount of money to make a 162 millimeter cell as it does to make a 210 millimeter cell.
Is that because of the way it's cut in circles
It's
or
just
some shape?
so yeah, you're pulling an ingot, you're drawing out a boule, and the size of that boule really doesn't matter. It's not the cost of pulling that boule a little bit larger is not as significant as it's a second order effect when it comes to the cost.
Yeah.
So now they can pull these bigger boules. They can make the G12 cells or the M10 cells at the same price as making an M6 plus cell.
Yeah.
So why would they make an M6 plus cell when they can sell it? They can sell a G12 for more profit. So what's going to happen is those M6 plus cells are not going to be manufactured anymore. And that's why there is this preponderance of G12s and G12R and M10 cells on the market right now, which are bigger. They're 210 millimeter wide cells. That changes the format. You just can't, it changes your electrical layout, and it changes your physical layout. So you have to, and that's changing everything in the industry. Our new products, we've got a 44 cell product right now. That's the,
What's
which
the
is,
what's the wattage on that?
so that's your, we have a 44 cell product that is 470 watts. That's the Alpha
Wow.
Pure RX series. What's interesting about the Alpha Pure RX is that the cells are run, because the cell size, we have to run the cell strings on the towards the short side, parallel to the short side, as opposed to most modules you can see in the background here of my video, they're run parallel to the long side, which changes the location of your junction boxes. But lots of companies out there are getting very creative on how they are going to put their product together to try to be maximize power, but also have something that is can be installed. Because ultimately, so there, our new product is actually shorter and wider than most products. It's 44 inches wide or 48 inches wide, which is, 6 or 8 inches wider than most panels, but it's also shorter. It comes in right at 50 pounds, just under 50 pounds. So, I mean, there's lots of things you can do. You can have a 700-watt module. It's just going to be really big.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of cycling around between all of the manufacturers as they move to G12 and M10 cells over the next 18 months. Watt classes will go up, but you're going to get to a point where, it's just going to be, so with utility scale, it's going to be, I think it's going to be brutal. They'll have 8-foot modules out there, but they'll also have, 750 watt modules. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's almost 1 horsepower. If you think about it, back to your high school physics, it's almost 1 horsepower in a single module. That's crazy.
That is, yeah.
So
Wow.
that's pretty cool. So, but anyway, that's what I see is going to be happening with the evolution of product right now, because we've just got, there's a lot of things changing, and they're not changing because we want them to. They're changed because the customer is demanding more power, lower costs. And there's only, you can't, it's one of those, it's the triangle there. You can't change one side, everything else changes as well.
I mean, you having been so involved in this segment of the value chain, I would love to do a side conversation one day with you on what your personal views are on whether we should bring standardization and how. But that's a conversation for another day, maybe a future solar conversation.
I've got some unique views on that.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can tag it onto the back of this one.